what's up guys, Benny here and welcome to today's Call of Duty Warzone video where we're going to be talking about how YouTubers manage to get such easy lobbies like the gameplay that you're watching, skill-based matchmaking and all that good stuff, because I feel right now it's probably one of the most talked about subjects, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Twitter. Everyone's complaining about skill-based matchmaking and how much harder the game is now and how sweaty it is and how I'm having no fun because everything's so hard. Well, there's a reason for that. Now, this gameplay was actually what was surprisingly a world record at the time. It was a 25 kill game on the first day that the game came out. It was one of my proudest moments. Now that I look back at it, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so bad. There's so much stuff that I'm doing wrong throughout this gameplay, and people are still trying to chase this sort of experience. The lobbies that you got back here, that is why people have been doing things like reverse boosting, playing on new accounts to get easier lobbies, so you come across players like this gameplay, because you'll see this from the way that I play the game. I'm not doing so much stuff that is going to benefit and allow me to do well. Like if I played in this lobby right now, I would comfortably drop 40 kills because I'm not slide cancelling. I'm not using the best loadouts. Like, oh my god, you're about to see this here. I'm using an M4 class. I don't have a monolithic suppressor. This is the sort of lobbies that everyone... I'm even using a HDR with a thermal scope. Not just any thermal scope, but the 3.25 thermal scope, which was my groundbreaking discovery back at the start of Warzone, because it didn't give you the sniper glint. I was like, this is game changing. There's no sniper glint. I'm overpowered and no one's going to be able to touch me. Even though it aimed in like a slug, you couldn't really snap in. I don't have a monolithic suppressor, so everyone on the map knows exactly where I am using the M4. Good things I am doing, I'm using the commando and the 60 round mag. Other than that, everything else on the weapon needs to change. But this is what I want to talk about when YouTubers are getting easy lobbies. Now, when you look at the volume of games that people play, if you go through COD Tracker and look at people's data at how many games they play to get like a 30 kill game, it's a lot. And you'll occasionally, because of how skill-based matchmaking works in the game, where it finds a balanced lobby, there's like a curve that once you pass like 1.3 KD, you kind of all fit into that sort of same bracket, so to speak. Like the average KD of a Call of Duty Warzone lobby, once you pass 1.3 KD, is around 1.3 to 1.4 KD. That is what you will have and what you will be coming up against. So when you look at people's gameplay and the challenge that people are having, where it's like skill-based matchmaking is making this game so hard, it's not fun, it's because you are going up like this gameplay here. If you compare this gameplay to one of mine now, okay, you will not, it is night and day. The way that you approach gunfights, the way that you move around the map, because your map knowledge, it's so drastically different. And I'd love to hear from you down in the comments what you think as well, because like there's little things like this. Like, I'm using the HDR thermal sniper here, and I'm trying to hit someone from a distance with that, and no one's like, can you remember back at the start of the game, cold-blooded was the go-to perk so you could stay off thermals? That was what it was. It wasn't EOD, it wasn't double time, it was cold-blooded. And now that has completely changed because the meta changes. However, new players coming in because of skill-based matchmaking will be at this point in their game and their journey within Warzone. And I think that's one of the biggest things. Like, YouTubers don't just get easy lobbies unless there are a couple ways that you can go ahead and get easy lobbies. First of all is you play in a quads or trios where the players that you play against have really low KDs. If your team has a really low KD, it will bring your average lobby KD down, which means that if you're a really good player, you will find it easier in like solo quad, solo trio situations, and you'll pick up more kills overall. Now, that is one thing I know a lot of YouTubers and content creators do. They'll play with people who have lower KDs so that they get easier lobbies to get better gameplay to showcase. That is one thing that people can do. Now, the second thing that people can do is reverse boost, which for me is something that is totally unacceptable, because it is the act of destroying your account's stats so that you get easier lobbies, effectively making the game think you're a much worse player than you actually are. And I know this has been something that a lot of people have been accused about for doing, and they even got it to the point where you will be banned from tournaments if you go ahead and reverse boost. But it is one of the easiest ways. Is effectively you fool the game system. People will spawn like I've seen a whole bunch of ways that people have been doing this. Some people are just like, you know what, I'm going to have a reverse boosting day, and will sit there for an entire day spawning into games of Warzone, pancaking on the floor, and yeah, then just kind of backing out, rinse, repeat, and bringing their KD down. That is one way that people have done it, because it is shocking at how quickly that will destroy your stats. Because like, I've now been playing Warzone since the day it came out, like non-stop, and have 4,000 deaths, give or take, overall, which right isn't that many. If my entire goal was to just go and get as many deaths as I can, I could very easily lower my stats to be a 2 KD, and then I will have easier games in tournaments, and I will have easier matches overall because of skill-based matchmaking. But something I don't think anyone should ever do. So that is the second way that people can get easy lobbies. I think the third thing I really want to touch on is the overall skill level of Call of Duty Warzone players now compared to this gameplay that you're watching. Like, I could not get away with half the stuff that I do in this gameplay right now, because everyone has like leveled up 2 or 3 times. Like, I'm sure you watching this right now, if you go back and look at your gameplay from when you first started playing, it is night and day. You'll be so much better. And if you hopped into this lobby that I'm like doing right now, you would mop up and rack up a 20 kill game, no problem at all, because your loadouts would be optimized. This is something that I really want to hammer home, okay? And why lobbies are so much harder, and why it might feel harder now than when you first started playing, because as I said, everyone's leveled up. Everyone's loadouts are on point. You're not running around with an M4 which has a Corvus custom barrel with, like, I don't even know what's on that. Like, what is actually on this M4? Stippled grip tape, maybe? And like a Viper reflex sight? And then you won't come across someone who's using a HDR with a 3.25 thermal on. Like, this stuff doesn't happen. People, right now, I would have been blitzed by someone with an AX50 in the head. No problem at all. Or a Kar 98. Everyone would be running kilos with a VLK on it. Like, that is the sort of stuff that you come up against now. And if you want to get an easy lobby, really, the only way you can do it is making a fresh account. Like, I've seen people hop on fresh accounts, and the lobbies that they will come up against are some of the easiest in Call of Duty, because it is completely fresh players. They are people that are making new accounts, because Warzone has millions of players. And like, look, it hurts me. Like, I actually jump shotted there. Okay, that was, I'm quite proud of that. But like, the way that I fight police station, and also my equipment, I'm using smoke grenades over a heartbeat sensor or stuns because of the thermal sniper that I was using. I was like, you know what? I need to have I need to have smoke grenades. It's a game-changing thing. But really, if you want easier lobbies, the only option that you have in Call of Duty Warzone is to play with players that have lower KDs than yourself. It's the only thing that is organically and authentically going to bring the overall skill of the lobby down. So if you want to have easier lobbies, play with players that have a lower KD is the thing that I'd mainly suggest. But I really want to touch on my opinion of skill-based matchmaking, because I actually think it's a good thing, because I would think it is totally unfair if someone who has just started playing Warzone for the very first time comes up against people that have got hundreds of wins or have 3 KDs, because it's not going to be a fun experience, and it's also long-term going to make them not want to play the game. I always see it like, skill-based matchmaking's rubbish, get rid of it. But the gaming like level now is so much higher. There are so many players out there that are so cracked and so good that I always think about it like this. If my dad hopped onto Warzone and played against some of these people, he would never play it again. He'd be like, well, that wasn't fun. I've just spent 2 hours getting killed over and over and over again. And though that is really fun for us, it's also way more fun to do it against people that are of a somewhat equal skill level. Yes, it can be frustrating when you get beaten in certain ways, but I personally think that's totally cool. I look back when games first come out like this, like that guy tried to jump shot me there, which is, I've just realized my entire team, like I was playing with Elam and Zerka in this game, and I just realized they've got no health left and I've got no plates. I'm like, oh yeah, just crawl here, crawl here, crawl here. There's no running around. If I had a heartbeat sensor, everything would be fine. Zerka then goes down. I'm like, oh, don't worry, I'll get you. I'm like, I'm too scared to go outside. And it's things like that. It's just things like that you just wouldn't get now. And if you ever want to see these lobbies again, you effectively have to make a brand new account and play with people that are playing for the first time, because map knowledge, like, I think there are 3 major things like that will make lobbies more difficult now compared to when you first start playing Warzone. As I already touched on, loadouts, huge thing. One of the biggest ways that you can improve your game tenfold before you even hop into a match. Second, map position, right? Like, map positioning is so important. The more I watch top tier players, like we checked out Biffle yesterday, like the way that you play a map, you approach buildings, you hold people off on the gas. Like, look at the mini map right now. I've just realized I completed a recon in this level. I have not touched a recon flag in weeks. Like, a recon is just like something I do not do now because it slows down your cash flow. Like, recons are surprisingly one of the worst contracts that you can do unless you want to just get into the final circle, hide, and only get 1 kill for the win. That's it. But I'm actually quite proud of that. That is a pretty nice hold of the circle. Though that guy right there, I don't have a suppressor on this gun. He's like, if this was today, he would have come out that window and beamed me with an MP5. No questions asked. The meta has completely changed in Warzone. Skill-based matchmaking is a good thing to have. I want to hear from you if you agree or disagree down in the comments what you would rather have, because remember, if you remove it completely, yes, you might play against people occasionally that have absolutely no thumbs, but they're not going to have a good experience, and then your lobbies might not be as populated, and it's not going to make the game as popular, which is then going to help bring us more updates, more changes to the game. But this is just my overall opinion. I actually love... I'm cringing at my own gameplay sometimes. Just the way that I'm moving around. Like, I need to get across this river now. Like, the circle is moving, and I am just not getting across this ravine, and it's stressing me out. I'm like, just rotate to the right. Like, here, I should be going where Josh is right now on the right-hand side and pushing across. Instead, I'm stood on a bush in a place that can be seen everywhere. And now I'm going, this is, at least I'm checking around. This is something that's good. I'm kind of going up to team with Josh. Like, I have to admit, it is quite nice not seeing everyone using meta loadouts. Like, I wish they had put some more game modes in that, like, just randomize your loadouts, or even a no loadout mode where it's floor loot weapons. A bit like how we had with Blackout. And like, look, was that an Origin? He had an Origin. He was ahead of the curve. That player right there was ahead of the curve. He was hiding in a bush with an Origin 12 shotgun. We all know like that's not true. That hasn't changed. But I actually remember this because I was freaking out at the end of this gameplay because I was like, 25 kills. Oh my God, I can do it. But I wish I knew what I knew now and like could have applied it to this game. But I honestly hope this video has helped you to some extent in figuring out how people have been getting easier lobbies, the state of skill-based matchmaking and why it's in the game. And I think it's only going to get, the game's only going to get better as we move on, especially with Black Ops Cold War, including Warzone. I think we're going to get a lot more updates. There's going to be a lot more changes. We're not far to season 6 now, with the battle pass only having a couple weeks to go. But there we go. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.